Welcome to Lola's Frugal Life Podcast. If you're on a mission to be more frugal with both your time and money, you're in the right place. In this podcast, we talk about topics that help enhance living a frugal lifestyle. The goal is to save time and money where we can so that we can use the rest on what matters most to us. We talk a lot about both time and money management so that we can waste as little as possible on both. We do this while also embracing a progress over perfection mindset. If that sounds good to you, then please stick around for the latest episode right after a few quick words from our sponsor. Hi everyone, welcome back to Lola's Frugal Life Podcast. This is my weekly meal plan episode. This is a quick episode where I share with you what I have on my family's meal plan for the upcoming week. There is a blog post that goes along with this episode, which can be found on my website at lolasfrugallife.com. That includes links to any recipes that I mentioned in the episode, and I've also started recording some cooking videos, which are posted on the Lola's Frugal Life YouTube channel. I only have one so far. I just created it last week. It's up on the channel. It was for the Philly cheesesteak pasta. And I'm hoping to do one today for pumpkin chili, which isn't actually on this week's meal plan episode. It was on last week's, but I'm cooking it tonight, the day that I'm recording this episode. So I'm going to try and do that too. So if you're interested in checking that out, maybe go check out the YouTube channel and subscribe over there. And you can see videos of some of the recipes that are mentioned in these episodes as I begin getting those videos recorded. So this week's meal plan starts on Saturday, October 14th. For Saturday, I'm making one pot creamy pesto chicken pasta, which is from budgetbites.com. This is a one pot dish, obviously, as said in the name. It's really easy to make. You cut up some chicken breast into small pieces and you cook it up with some spinach and milk and cream cheese and chicken broth to make the sauce. And of course, it's got pesto in there and then penne pasta. So that's like a nice, quick, easy meal to make on a weekend. For Sunday, I'm doing creamy herbed pork chops, which is from allrecipes.com. I don't actually make the creamy part of this recipe, but I do just love to make the pork chops in a frying pan with butter and Montreal steak seasoning, as it calls for in the beginning part of this recipe. And then I just eat them like that. They're super simple and they taste really great. And then as a side, I'm going to be making vegetarian tater tot casserole number 2. This is from allrecipes.com. This is a casserole which includes frozen tater tots, sour cream, cheddar cheese, cream of mushroom soup. And it actually calls for French fried onions, but I've never actually put those on it. But it goes good with the pork chops. For Monday, we're going to be doing meatloaf, turkey meatloaf. We always make the Jenny-O's best ever meatloaf recipe, which is from jennyo.com. With that, I'm going to be doing some boxed shells and cheese and some frozen vegetables, whatever I happen to have on hand. I usually always like to have some of those steam fresh type vegetables that I could just grab something and throw it in the microwave rather. For Tuesday, we're doing Taco Tuesday. We always do some type of Mexican theme on Tuesdays. This week it happens to be tacos. So very simple, just cooking up some ground beef. I don't even actually buy taco seasoning anymore. I just do like some seasoned salt and chili powder and just kind of cook it up that way. And then of course I'll put out, like some lettuce, tomato, shredded cheese, the taco shells and all that type of stuff. Sometimes I'll put out some sour cream, jalapenos, or jalapenos. My kids always make fun of me for saying jalapenos. And then I probably still didn't even say it right when I corrected myself, but either way. And then I'll put out some avocados and any other type of toppings that we happen to have on hand. For Wednesday, I'm doing creamy Tuscan salmon shrimp pasta. This is from simplydeliciousfood.com. This is a really good, easy seafood meal that comes out kind of a little bit on the fancier side, I would think, at least from my standards. It's basically salmon and shrimp and pasta with like a creamy sauce. It's made with like cream and lemon juice and sun-dried tomatoes. And I believe you're supposed to serve the salmon and the shrimp with the creamy sauce like kind of over top of the pasta, but I wind up just kind of mixing it all together in the skillet, and then we just kind of scoop it out like that. For Thursday, we usually always do soup or breakfast for dinner. This week we're doing soup. I'm going to be making slow cooker chicken taco soup, which is from allrecipes.com. This is very similar to any of those types of taco soups, or sometimes they're called like chicken tortilla soup, or I don't know, there's different names for them, but it's basically just dumping a bunch of stuff in the crock pot, beans, corn, beer, diced tomatoes, and chicken breast, and just cooking it up in the crock pot all day. And then you could top it with some tortilla chips and cheese and sour cream when it's done. So that will be a nice easy meal for Thursday. So then Friday we are doing ribeye steak. We do every other Friday we do hamburgers, and then on the other off Fridays we do hot dogs one of the nights, and then ribeye steak the other one. I just basically marinated in some in a bag with olive oil, like in a Ziploc bag with some olive oil, red wine vinegar, and some Montreal steak seasoning. And then lately I've been cooking it in the air fryer in the summer and just throw it on the grill. And then with that, I'm going to be making peas and pasta, which is from wedelicious.com. This is it's just a very simple dish. It's just basically pasta mixed with frozen peas and Parmesan cheese and some olive oil and salt. And then I'm also going to be making baked green bean fries, which isn't really a recipe, but it's I think it's made by Bird's Eye. It's like one of the companies that makes frozen vegetables, and I just throw them in the air fryer. They're like breaded green bean fries, and we really like them, especially me. Like, I just love them so much. So I'm just going to make it easy and throw this in the air fryer and have that as another side with the steak. So that's it for this week's meal plan. Like I said, you can find this on my website at lolasfrugallife.com if you want to find any of the links for any of the recipes. And that's it for this week. So thank you so much for listening, and I will see you back here next week. So thank you for checking in for this podcast episode. And don't forget, you can always email me with any questions or suggestions at lolasfrugallife@gmail.com. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at lolasfrugallife. And you can find a blog post for most of my episodes, and definitely all of my meal plan episodes, at lolasfrugallife.com. You can also join our private listeners group at facebook.com/groups/lolasfrugallife. And if you enjoy the show, please make sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen from. And I would love it if you would screenshot the show and tag me on Instagram so I could see you're listening. Also, if you can please take a couple of seconds to rate and review the podcast. Those ratings and reviews are what help the show come up better in search results so that other people can find this podcast. So that will really help me in growing my audience. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have an awesome day.